No.
I know.
A rock climber scaling down a steep mountain cliff in Japan finds himself in a desperate fight for survival when an Asian black bear suddenly ambushes him from above. Trapped on a narrow ledge, the climber screams in terror and aggressively fights back. Using his bare hands to punch and kick the attacking bear to keep from being dragged off the cliff face. After a few chaotic and terrifying seconds, the bear loses its footing, slides down into the rocky brush, and retreats into the woods with its cub. The climber, breathing heavily and deeply shaken, quickly climbs to a safer spot to ensure the area is clear. A mountain biker is riding through a quiet forest when a huge brown bear suddenly runs out of the trees. The bear starts chasing him. Terrified, the rider quickly turns his bike around and pedals away as fast as he can. But a fallen tree blocks his path. He drops his bike and runs to hide behind a large tree. He stands completely still, breathing heavily and shaking with fear. Just a few feet away, the giant bear walks through the woods looking for him before finally moving away. A van driving slowly down a narrow forest road suddenly comes face to face with a large brown bear resting by the side of the dirt path. Without warning, the animal gets up and charges directly at the moving vehicle with incredible speed and power. It slams forcefully into the front bumper and windshield, even snapping off one of the van's windshield wipers in the process. Immediately after the violent impact, the bear turns around and sprints back into the dense bushes, leaving the shaken driver to safely drive away from the startling encounter. A home security camera in British Columbia, Canada, captures a heart-stopping moment when a 7-year-old boy comes face-to-face with a massive black bear while riding his scooter in a driveway. Instead of panicking or running, the young boy handles the terrifying standoff perfectly by standing his ground and staring the animal down until it stops dead in its tracks. Sensing the danger, a heroic neighbor suddenly runs into the yard with his arms raised high to make himself look as big as possible, scaring the predator away from the child. The neighbor then engages in a tense game of hide-and-seek around a parked car, aggressively chasing the black bear until it finally gets spooked and scrambles back into the woods. Wildlife experts heavily praise both the boy and the neighbor for their calm and perfect reactions under immense pressure. Tourists on a safari at a national park in India witness a heart-stopping standoff when a large Bengal tiger emerges from the tall grass to confront a domestic elephant. As the massive predator crouches low with predatory intent, the elephant stops in its tracks, trumpeting loudly and stamping its feet to defend its handler and passengers. Undeterred by the elephant's size, the fierce tiger roars back and launches into a sudden, aggressive mock charge right down the dirt trail. However, the elephant refuses to back down, holding its ground firmly until the big cat finally reconsiders, backing off slightly to let the giant herbivore and the heavily shaken onlookers pass by safely. This video captures a shocking and famous moment during a safari where a curious lioness figures out how to open a car door.
I know.
A family is sitting safely inside their vehicle, watching and filming a pride of lions relaxing on the grass just a few feet away. One of the curious lionesses gets up, walks directly over to the car, and stares right through the passenger window. Suddenly, she bites down on the external door handle, pulls it back, and pops the door wide open. The passengers immediately erupt into screams of pure panic as the camera falls.
You're supposed to lock the door. Oh my gosh, I didn't know they could do that.
And someone frantically grabs the inner door handle to pull it shut and lock it just in time. Shaken but uninjured, the family laughs in nervous disbelief as they realize just how close they came to a disaster. A jaw-dropping 6-minute video from Utah captures the terrifying moment a hiker named Kyle Burgess is stalked and aggressively lunged at by a protective mother cougar after accidentally stumbling upon her cubs on a mountain trail. For 6 agonizing minutes, the mountain lion relentlessly follows the hiker as he slowly backs away down the path. Every time he halts or lowers his voice, the wildcat hisses, flares her claws, and makes explosive mock charges to force him back. The hiker manages to survive by handling the nightmare perfectly. He maintains direct eye contact, shouts continuously to make himself seem intimidating, and refuses to turn around and run, which would instantly trigger the apex predator's hunting instinct. Finally, after gaining enough distance from her den, the hiker picks up a rock and hurls it toward the cougar. The sudden impact spooks her, sending her sprinting back into the brush and ending the breathless ordeal. This video from Alaska captures a heart-stopping encounter on a trail where a hiker finds himself being actively followed by a mother grizzly bear and her 2 cubs. Rather than panicking or turning to run, which would instantly trigger the bear's predatory chase instinct, the hiker handles the dangerous situation with textbook precision. He calmly and continuously walks backward down the path, speaking to the bears in a steady, firm voice to let them know he is human and not a threat. Even when he suffers a tense heart and throat stumble, he quickly regains his footing and continues his cautious retreat all the way back to the safety of his camp. The intense standoff ultimately ends peacefully, cutting to a final scene where the mother bear and her cubs have veered off the trail to relax by the water's edge, with the 2 cubs playfully wrestling on the shore. 2 young male lions aggressively attack a safari vehicle navigating a dirt trail. The first lunges from the side, violently snapping and swatting its massive paws against the metal doors. As the vehicle accelerates away, a second lion lying in wait directly ahead locks eyes with the passengers and explodes into a furious sprint, relentlessly striking at the rear bumper until the car speeds down the dusty track to safety. This fascinating clip showcases a rare moment of connection as wildlife filmmaker Kim Wohlhuter experiences a high-stakes interaction with a wild cheetah family. While maternal cheetahs are typically fiercely protective and quick to defend their litters against any perceived threats, this mother demonstrates an exceptional level of earned trust by remaining completely relaxed on the grass. Her curious cubs capitalize on her calmness, walking right up to Kim and climbing all over him as if he were nothing more than a fallen log or a new piece of terrain to explore. This extraordinary acceptance breaks down the usual barriers between humans and apex predators, granting an unprecedented, intimate window into the upbringing of one of the planet's rarest wildcats. This viral video captures a terrifying encounter where an enormous hippo violently capsizes a small motorboat, plunging a man directly into the water alongside one of the world's most aggressive animals. The strike is instantaneous. The hippo launches upward from the depths, sending the vessel flying through the air before it lands upside down. Reacting quickly, the man immediately scrambles onto the hull of the overturned boat to escape the water. He maintains his composure on the capsized craft to avoid escalating the hippo's territorial aggression further, while his companions on a nearby pontoon raft steadily make their way toward him. His friends quickly pull him across onto the safety of their raft, allowing him to miraculously escape the high-stakes ordeal with 0 injuries. This dramatic footage from Etosha National Park in Namibia captures a terrifying display of raw power as an angry black rhinoceros repeatedly attacks a white SUV carrying a group of terrified tourists. Initially seen emerging from the dry, dusty brush, the multi-ton animal quickly walks onto the dirt road and zeroes in on the stationary vehicle parked ahead. Without warning, the rhino charges forward with immense force, slamming its massive horn directly into the front bumper and side panels, violently rocking the entire vehicle and kicking up thick clouds of dust. The aggressive animal backs off briefly, only to lunge in for a second punishing strike, while shocked passengers in a trailing vehicle capture the high-stakes encounter in hushed, frightened whispers before the rhino finally breaks off its assault. A group of cyclists riding along a scenic coastal highway in South Africa find themselves in a high-speed pursuit when a giant wild ostrich leaps onto the road right behind them. The massive bird relentlessly chases the riders for over a minute, effortlessly keeping pace with them at speeds of around 30 to 40 miles per hour. The cyclist filming from behind watches in absolute disbelief and laughs as the ostrich matches every acceleration his friends make on the asphalt. Finally, as a car approaches from the opposite lane, the ostrich gives up the chase, swerving off the road and darting back into the grassy hills. This terrifying footage from Dino Keng Game Reserve captures a high-stakes encounter on a narrow dirt track where an aggressive African bull elephant launches a full-scale charge at a safari jeep. The confrontation begins with a tense standoff as the massive elephant emerges from the brush visibly agitated. Despite the tour guide's frantic efforts to deter the animal by clapping and shouting, the bull refuses to back down. Instead, it flares its enormous ears and storms down the road, kicking up a massive cloud of dust as it rapidly gains ground on the reversing vehicle. The chase reaches a heart-stopping climax when the elephant draws close enough to violently smash its trunk against the Jeep's hood, causing terrified passengers to cry out, before the driver's steady execution in reverse finally forces the giant predator to break off its pursuit and melt back into the thick brush. If you want to stay updated on more thrilling wildlife encounters and survival breakdowns, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you would have done in these intense situations. Thank you for watching, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.